Welcome to how-to videos from Bugspray.com. This product right here is called Trapper. It's a glue for capturing rats and mice. I have a lot of customers ask me, hey, I've got these glue boards, but they're not going to exactly work in the situation I wanted to use them in. Do you just sell the glue? And as a matter of fact, we do. We have a lot of call for this, especially amongst professional trappers. They'll find all kinds of unique situations where putting a glue board in a traditional form may not cover the application. So they can take cardboard or even a piece of wood and create their own glue boards. And they can make them in L shapes, or they can make them in oval. I mean, they can make them in a variety of different shapes. Not to mention, you can use it just on the inside of a box and maybe just make one little entry and line the inside edges of the box with maybe 4 or 5 inches of glue and have the opportunity to catch multiple rodents with the same glue board. So there's all kinds of great applications. It's used primarily for rats and other large rodents. It can also be used for mice. Just a couple of tips for you. When you put out your glue boards, always leave them in the same location for at least 5 days, especially for rats. Rats are neophobic, and if you're moving the objects around a bunch, they're going to avoid them. So it might take a few days for a rat to actually get comfortable investigating it. The glue itself is not an attractant, so you definitely want to use one of the other products like the pecan paste or loganberry paste, maybe the trailing scent, to get them into the trap. You can also use this for other small rodents like mice or moles. I'm sure there's a few others that people will have opportunity to use it for. Keep them out of dusty areas, or like I said, you can make them inside of a box for a situation like that. Try to put your placements against walls or right at the opening where an animal may be entering. I tend to say fasten them down, especially if you're using something light like cardboard. If you don't keep them fastened in place, the rodent could potentially flip it over and eventually work themselves off of it. If you get this on your hands or on some material you don't want it on, the easiest thing to do is just get some mineral spirits and work it off, and then once you've done that, then you can take just regular soap and water and clean off the mineral spirits and any residue that's left over. When working with this, make sure you remove any watches or rings and thoroughly wet both hands with a small amount of liquid detergent. Also wet the blade that you're using to cut this with, because I usually use like a wooden spoon to smooth it out, or maybe a paint stirrer, that kind of thing. And you want to make sure that when you cut it off, because when you're pulling it out, it's going to be like a string of glue. You want to be able to cut that loose. So just wet any scissors with a little bit of detergent as well. When you place this on the glue board, you want it to be, depending on the size of the animal you're trying to trap, anywhere from 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch thick. Obviously, the heavier the animal, the thicker the glue, the better the hold. Generally speaking, you'd want to place the glue boards in areas where the animals are going to be most active and where they like to travel, typically along walls, knot openings, beside burrows, in corners and concealed places, or in other locations where rodent signs have been observed. Sometimes we'll see them on top of a furnace or along the ductwork for the furnace. This is an excellent application for this, where you can create a glue board that will essentially fit that surface. To increase the effectiveness, block passageways to force rodents to travel directly over the glue boards. Effectiveness may also be increased by placing bait materials such as loganberry paste, nuts, seeds, loganberry paste, pecan paste, or other sweets on the center of the glue board, or where they have to travel over the glue to get to it. Another recommendation is when placing the glue boards on sites such as ledges, pipes, poles, etc., secure by wiring or nailing so that the trapped rodent cannot move them or make them difficult to remove. I think that should give you a pretty good idea of what this product is and how it's used. Maybe at some point in the future I'll actually have an opportunity to do an application, and I'll do a video of that at that time. Currently I don't have any jobs going where I can use this, but if I have one, I'll be sure to do another video. Thank you for watching this how-to video from Bugspray.com.